So the research team that was investigating used the same cost-benefit analysis that the EPA uses in determining whether or not something has an effect on human life and that value that comes with it. Through exploring the diseases that are spread through reusable plastic bags, they found that it was completely unacceptable and would not meet up with their standards. Furthermore, a huge argument is that there's a lot of plastic litter, but in like metropolitan areas. But in the city of San Francisco, the environmental department only found that the non-reusable bags there only constitute like less than 0.6% of the trash there, and is not actually that big of a problem. And finally, I'm going to wrap up my argument with the way that this ban in California actually got started. Is that it actually was hosted by an organization called CalPERD. And the way that they got this passed was that they would go to a bunch of different municipal districts and slightly alter and change the little laws that would put bans on single-use plastic bags, non-reusable ones. And the way that this caused problems was because they would change the law slightly in every single city that they went to, and it created an economic uproar coming from a bunch of different cities. And basically, the problems that they created had to be solved by this ban. So it wasn't actually, in fact, just a one single lobbying event. It was creating problems just to fix this. And this problems directly got into social justice issues, environment issues, and economic issues.
All right, so I'm Noah, and I'll be talking about the social justice argument. So the main concern is that most reusable grocery bags are not washed after being used. So according to a 2010 joint University of Arizona and Loma University study, they found that reusable grocery bags can be a breeding ground for dangerous foodborne bacteria and pose a serious risk to public health. So basically, the research study, they randomly tested reusable grocery bags carried by shoppers in Tucson, Arizona, Los Angeles, and San Francisco. And they found that consumers were unaware that they were supposed to wash their bags. And so 97% of the users did not wash the bags at all, and only like 3% of them did. And so what the study did is that they got these swab sticks, and they would swipe around the entire bag, and they found that greater than 50% of the 84 bags contain coliform, which is a bacterium found in fecal material. And they also found that E. coli was found in 12% of the bags used. Furthermore, in another study, in May 2012, Oregon Public Health published a study in the Journal of Infectious Diseases in which they traced an outbreak of the virus called norovirus. And they found that the members of a Beaverton's girls soccer team contracted this virus, and they started to experience vomiting and diarrhea. And so the main takeaway is that people should wash their bags after being used, or either they will contract bacteria from the reusable shopping bags.
Great. Do you guys have a conclusion? Any concluding remarks? If not, I will clip this part.
For sure. Yeah, I would just say that there's an economic cost that comes with everything that's been described, right? So you look at the unintended consequences that come with sickness and disease, right? It takes money to diagnose. It takes money to consider treatment. To go to these places, it's going to be affecting both the large scale and the micro scale. So the people affect directly, and then the larger scale, like the companies, things like that. People are losing their jobs. Environmental policies that come into play don't come free. Nothing's free.
Yeah, and like the environmental, like they think that, oh, because it's reusable, you're probably not going to throw it out, or you're probably going to use it so many times that it would remove the waste that comes with just a regular plastic or like a brown paper bag. But what happens is they make these like super bags that can be very potentially dangerous to the local ecosystems, like groundwater, like I've mentioned before, or increasing the GWP up to 11 more times as like paper and plastic bags. So what people don't understand is they actually have to it's not just buying the bags, but it's actually using them correctly to prevent environmental damage and damage to themselves, like in their health